Greetings and salutations.
Hello, all.
Welcome to Needles at the Ready. I'm Kevin.
I'm Ray.
This is
I always point to myself. Do I do that all the time?
I have no idea. Today is Saturday, July 6, 2024. This is episode 115 of our YouTube channel where we talk about knitting, crocheting, yarn dyeing, and yarn buying.
And lots of other things. We are chatters.
Yeah, they're all hobbies.
Chattanooga choo-choo. Sorry. Let me composure.
So, we hope you guys are doing well. It has been 2 weeks, and it's been a quiet...
It's been a long road. That's from Star Trek.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, not from, but it is from.
Okay.
Enterprise.
That's where you know it from.
That's where I know it from.
Okay.
I don't know if it's an actual song that people listen to.
Fantastic.
That's all you get is like one bar. Name that tune.
It's been a... not relaxing. No. Calm 2 weeks. We haven't done much.
It's been a good 2 weeks. Yeah.
It's just been like...
We kind of hit that like midsummer lull. We have a lot of things coming up, which we'll definitely talk about. We're going to be going into our busy season soon.
I know.
So it's nice to have that little bit of downtime.
Yeah.
Not like just having to run around. I think that's kind of been nice.
Right. And there's been a good amount of crafting, a ton of yarn dyeing, prepping for the trunk show.
Yes.
And I really think that's it. Like, we haven't... Oh, the only thing that we've done over the past 2 weeks that I know of and remember is last Sunday, we had some friends over. We recently made a purchase of a...
Pretty large purchase.
Outdoor griddle. We got a Weber slate. So we've been using the hell out of that.
We have. We got the 30-inch Weber slate. It's kind of like a Blackstone outdoor griddle.
Right. And we've just been using it.
Yeah.
And our friends came over and we cooked on that and hung out.
It's been great.
And we had the 4th of July here. And...
Here in the U.S.
In
not
the U.S.
like here as in like our house. The entire 4th of July. Happy,
happened in our
since
backyard.
1776.
And it was...
Needles at the Ready hardcovers.
It did pretty well. The bird. So if you don't know,
I know
we do have a parakeet. We've almost had him for a year, and his name is Skylar. And we were quite nervous about his reaction to fireworks because we didn't have him last year at 4th of July. We got him in August, so there were still some, but not many.
Right.
And we have PTSD from fireworks season. We do. But he did incredibly well. No reaction to it, so that was...
Yeah, none at all. We were able to keep the cage open and let him fly around and hang out with us. He was whistling and talking.
Yeah.
Like, he stopped at the booms, but then just went right back to chatting to himself and to us. It was really... I think we stressed out a lot more about it than he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. Our neighborhood... People in our neighborhood love their fireworks. And typically starts a lot sooner than 4th of July. It usually starts somewhere like around
Memorial Day.
Yeah, and then it just every night. But this year, knock on wood, it's not been that bad. But it was really bad with Tarquin. He hated the fireworks.
Speaking of the budgie, though, the day that we had our friends over, like the following day, he was done. He was spent. He would come out of his cage and do one like quick flight and go back in and go to sleep.
Yeah,
he did it all day.
Right. There was, we only had 3 other people over, but we hung out inside because it wasn't too nice to sit out. And I think with all the stimulation, everybody was like giving him attention. He flew a lot that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, the next day he was definitely relaxing. So
that's kind of what we've done over the past 2 weeks.
Yes.
So let's just do a quick admin-y part. We have our Let's Hear It for the Boys Mal going on. That started, I think, like the 20th or 21st, and that runs until September 20th, 21st. We end it like the day before fall starts. Yeah. So we talked about that quite a bit in the previous episode. We do have a Ravelry chatter thread and FO thread. So for all the details, just head over there.
We also posted it on our Instagram with all of the details too. And then there's a hashtag on Instagram, hashtag NATRBoys2024. And then whips are welcome. So if you've already started something, by all means, enter it. Really, the idea is just to kind of showcase people in the community and inspire each other to knit for those gents in our lives.
Correct.
And if that's you, then that's you. Congratulations. Be selfish.
And then some things that we have coming up. Just as a reminder, in 2 weeks, we have our very first trunk show at Pick Up Every Stitch in Mount Kisco, New York.
I'm so nervous.
That is from 12 to 4. So if you are in the area, please stop by, say hi.
Yes.
We'd be happy to see you. And then July 27th, we're just going to spend the day at Skane Yarn Shop
in Rhode Island
with our friends. Lori and Justine better be there. I'm just saying.
Justine won't be there. She's too important. Just kidding.
She's going to get sick, or somebody in the house is going to
No,
get
she
sick.
won't. She's got to wear a mask the entire time.
And then
Max and Vincent will be down there as well from Le Garçon. They've made that announcement as well. So that should be really exciting.
Yeah.
So if you're in the area, please stop by, say hi to the boys, all 4 of us, and Justine, because she'll be there for sure, and Lori. So,
and then after that, it's coming up quick. We're going to be at Flock.
Yeah, so Flock is August 9th through the 11th. We're flying out to Seattle somewhere, I think that Thursday.
Yes.
We're making a vacation out of it. So after the festival, we're going to hang out with some friends and spend the week or the rest of the week kind of being tourists and chill and relax, enjoy
our time there since we've never been.
I know. I'm really excited. The Midwest, right? Midwest region?
Pacific
Northwest? Not Midwest. Geography. And then...
Well, that's really far ahead.
I know, but I just figured it would be nice to talk about like what we have coming up. If anybody else hasn't bought their tickets yet. So we are definitely going to be making the most of Rhinebeck weekend. I know that sounds like it's far away, but October is right around the corner.
It feels it, man.
I know. So we decided to do Cake Palooza and Indie Untangled this year on
both
Friday.
For the first time.
So that Friday, October 18th, we're going to be really, really busy. We're going to try to do everything. So we booked 10 a.m. I know it's super early. I think it's the first one, the 10 a.m. Cake Palooza. And then we're going to do Indie Untangled at the 2 p.m. mark. And then we're going to repeat, hopefully, the wonderful time that we had last year at A Woolen Affair.
So looking forward to that.
We just got tickets for the party just because we've got the other things during the daytime. So we'll be at the Woolen Affair party at 6 p.m.
The gathering. Is it a party or...
They call it a party.
Okay, cool. We'll be at the party.
So it felt like a backyard party. Like it was just so nice.
That's a really good... Yeah, that's actually really, really good description of it. It was like a fire pit night in somebody's backyard.
We did ask a while back if they would consider like a pajama party and we can spend the night and stuff because that was so nice. But unfortunately, we got the no. We can't do that. Maybe in the future. And then October 19th and 20th is New York Sheep and Wool Festival. So we'll be there both days, Saturday and Sunday. So as we get closer, if we have any meetups and things, we'll be sure to let you guys know. But that's pretty much our calendar. We may have something special coming up in September that we're not ready to announce yet, but keep your ears to the gram and here.
All right.
Okay, so I think that's it.
So now we'll talk about some knitting. I have... What the hell do I have?
I don't know. Stuff.
I have 41 FOs.
Wow.
No, I have one.
You basically do.
I have one. And I have 1, 2, 3 other things that I've worked on, and then a 4th one to talk about.
Wow. Okay, great.
What was that noise?
I don't know. Let's pause to see if there's a follow-up noise.
I don't think so.
There wasn't.
All right.
So I have 3 FOs, guys. They are... One is massive on multiple levels. And I'm going to talk about maybe 2 or 3 more that I have works in progress.
All right, you started off because you have the most FOs.
Okay, I'm going to start with the big one, okay? Because we started this conversation greater than 2 years ago.
Do you have that written in your old
It was
notebook?
January 13th or something like that, somewhere around that
2022?
2022.
Okay.
So 2.5 years later, I started the journey of knitting a sweater for my father. And the pattern, I'm sure you can all tell me what the pattern is because you absolutely probably memorized me talking about this in every friggin' episode that we've ever had. This is the Ivan. I can't believe I'm talking about this for the last time. This is the Ivan by Veronique Avery.
I'm going to interrupt real quick. Just so you know, down below in the description of this video are the show notes.
Thank you.
They have links to all the patterns, to yarn brands that we've used, and typically any bags that we mention. If we miss anything,
bags and other products.
Yeah, you can reach out to us. If you miss it, just
ask.
Ask or quick rewind.
Because sometimes, like, if we get the same questions over and over again, like, for example, like our sock knitting machine, we have that constantly linked down below. So that's something that we'll always keep in case you want a link to that and what we use. I think the same thing with GoodNotes because we use that very often. So a link to that app is always down below as well.
True.
Okay, so
go ahead. Continue.
This was a journey. This was an absolute journey, and I'm going to show you the finished object in a few seconds. I've had ups, I've had downs and downs and downs. I struggled with this pattern a lot.
Do you think that the struggle is because of the size of the sweater and not the pattern?
Yeah, the pattern's great.
Okay.
No, the pattern is fantastic. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I struggled because I think, number one, and it's a good lesson for myself. Number one, it wasn't for me, right? Like, the sweater's not for me. It's for my dad, which he deserves 100%, like 10 of these sweaters, right? But I've realized that, like, I am a pretty selfish knitter, especially when it comes to so much of that time commitment, where we spend knitting. And I do love knitting for other people, but I think smaller projects like the babies, hats, socks, things like that, you can get done in a week or two. I think a sweater is something for an adult is a huge time commitment. And I think I wasn't prepared to feel that way. And I just kind of kept feeling like down about it, and like I was uncomfortable with the size. I still feel like it's too big, but you'll see it. So I learned a lot. I did run out of yarn, so I want to thank everybody for reaching out to me. Julie especially, you sent me a skein of yarn to help finish this, so thank you. And I think without further ado, we'll talk about it. So the yarn that I used, I'm sure you can all say this with me. This is Winkle and Wanda in the Knit Picks Simply Wool. So it's 100% wool. It is natural, like no dye, simply wool, right?
And they do.
It's a worsted weight. Mm-hmm.
I was just going to say they do carry those in solids.
Yeah.
From what we saw, they don't do the twist any longer, so they do have each individual color from the twist available as a solid.
Yeah, I think they had a few of the twists left, just not this Winkle and Wanda. And I'm sure you saw the twist. So basically what Kevin's talking about is they have the single color of of those twists in there. Okay. You all ready? So I will preface this by saying it is it's meant to be a very, very large cardigan. It is an open cardigan. It's pretty fancy, like some of the knitting instructions and stuff. It is considered an advanced pattern. It's $14.50 on Ravelry. It's definitely worth the investment. The Brooklyn Tweed patterns are written extremely well, and there's a lot, like a good probably 5 to 8 pages are in the technique section of knitting the sweater, all like how to do a tubular cast on, all these different things, which I think is really great. And
one pro tip about Brooklyn Tweed is if you buy the pattern from their website, they
get $1.
are $1 cheaper than they are from Ravelry, but you can still link it to your Ravelry account.
Yes, 100%. Thank you for that. Okay. So, it's considered an overgarment. And this... Whew, can't believe we're doing this. So, I will put it on. It is large on me. I think my dad is going to absolutely love it. It's one of those things that if I were to make one for my size, a lot smaller, I feel like I would be very, very cozy and comfortable. I knit the, let's see, so 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth size. I knit the fifth size in the pattern for a 46 to 50 inch chest. Okay, here we go. All right, look at this thing. I will put it on. What I really like about this is the inside, the way that you knit this. Nothing is like, this isn't seamed on the inside. Let me see if I can find it. Here. It just folds in on itself and it creates a really cool, like edge here. And the technique that you use kind of helps to pull everything inside so the edge stays like this. There is a section in the pattern that if you choose to, you can tack that down. But I left it open because I kind of like the look of it there. It has these like tulip, I don't know what they're called.
I think they're just called tulip sleeves.
Here, the collar is really neat as well. It's a folded over collar that you actually knit these as strips off of the shoulder, and then you connect them in the back of the neck, and it creates a really cool like look. Maybe I should wait till I get closer to the microphone. All right. Now, remember, this is really really big on me. Okay?
Dead.
I might stand on this chair. But you just can't let me fall, okay? All right, so
don't trip on the cardigan.
Here, okay, guys. Here we are. I don't know. Okay. It's very long. It's very huge. But it's really cool. Like, it's such a... Like, I feel like flowy, right? Like, you can... My dad's probably not going to do all that. But the collar is really cool. It's one of those pieces, like, you really can just be comfortable in it. Like, it's easy to move around. It's a lot of fabric.
It is.
It's a lot of fabric. So you start this bottom up. I knit the recommended US 6 and US 7s. It's very warm, but it's very drapey. Oh, sorry, I just smacked you in the face with the sweater. Can't help it. It's huge. Okay, so that's it. So this is my bathrobe. I'm going to call this the knitted bathrobe. You do some really interesting fashion decreases. So it adds a little bit of... They call it a fashion decrease?
Yeah.
So it adds a little bit of interest there on both sides. Yeah, here. But, yeah, cool. This is my favorite part, though, is like the folded in...
Yeah, I thought...
Like, you don't have, like, a band, like a defined band that goes down. But, I'm pretty proud of myself that I did, for the first time, successfully mattress stitch
and
mattress seaming.
And all that took was watching a video.
Yeah.
Fairy Pink Knits.
I know. I think we get in our heads, right? And, like, I'm usually one of those adventurous, like, knitters where I'll just go with it. And I think the mattress stitch, I've not been successful.
Do you think it's because when doing it, you're not watching the video beforehand?
Yeah, I don't...
You think... So I think part of the thing is that we also think that we always... Like, that we know the technique sometimes. Mm-hmm. And from... Even just verbally from somebody telling us. But... Like, that's the really great thing about YouTube is the number of tutorials out there. And, like, Very Pink Knits, You can't really go wrong with her
No.
tutorials.
And you know what's interesting is I have watched a lot of videos with mattress stitch before, but for some reason, maybe they didn't make sense to me, but this one clicked. And to Kevin's point, there's so many different tutorials about the same technique, and you just need to find one that clicks for you, that makes sense for you. Like the tubular cast on, for example. You know, I think Andrew Mowry's video clicked for me with that, you know, the tubular cast on or whatever. And
actually, a magic loop.
Right.
Very Pink Knits did not click for me. I don't remember who it was that I watched, but that was the one video of hers that I just couldn't grasp that technique. But I moved on to somebody else, and that was that.
Yeah. I am so happy that this is done.
He's going to be so happy. So a couple things. What needles did you use?
I did say, but I will say it again. It's okay. I used the recommended US 6 and US 7s for the pattern. It is a worsted weight yarn. For the, let's see, there was a 3 needle bind off. There's a lot of techniques in here. And it says in the pattern, it does say, looks can be deceiving with the Ivan cardigan. At first glance, Ivan is a simple overgarment, but upon closer inspection, couture design elements begin to reveal themselves. Crescent cuffs is what it's called. Overlapped crescent cuffs, fully faced front bands, and short row set in sleeves, elevate an otherwise straightforward piece of outerwear. So it really is. Like, it looks like it's simple, and it is if you follow the instructions, but there's a lot of really neat techniques and twists and turns in there. So I definitely recommend the pattern itself. I think it's great.
It's a commitment. It's a commitment.
Yeah. So I will be giving this to my dad soon.
Especially because it's knit flat. Bless you.
Thank you. Yes, it is knit flat in pieces, which was another... I think this is the first time I've completed a sweater that was knit flat in pieces.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good job.
Thank you so much.
And you may continue on with your next project.
All right, my next one I will pull up is a crocheted project that I finished. And I showed this a little while ago, a couple of podcasts ago. This is the Sugar Plum Shawl by RayJKnits.
RayJKnits. I would go RayJKnits.
It's a $7 pattern. It's really a beautiful lacy shawl. What's really great about this is fingering weight is that it's adjustable. So depending on how much yarn you have, you can make it smaller, you can make it larger. You can definitely do it in different yarn weights if you wanted to. There's shawls are just very versatile like that, and especially crocheted shawls. My gauge is a little bit different because I wanted a more open lace, so I did go up. I'm sorry, I did use the recommended crochet hook size, but because I'm a loose crocheter, I know that I usually have to go down hook sizes, something I've learned lately. But I stayed with the recommended hook size just to give me a little bit more airiness in it, and I'll show you how that turned out. But this is an E-hook. I'm not quite sure what the size of that one is, but it's an E-hook. These are our adjustable crochet hooks. I wanted to give those a try. Look how beautiful. I think they're so beautiful. Yeah. And this is by New England Northeast Woodworks with a Z. We'll have them. Yes. We'll have the company link down below. Hold on, I'm going to show you in a second. I used Needles at the Ready yarn, dyed by Kevin. The colorway is Asteroid Belt, and it is in the Achilles sock base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. There's approximately 462 yards per 100 grams. This is a 4-ply fingering weight yarn. And this is all I have left. I definitely did not have enough to do a row. Crochet, these rows got a little bit long. So this is probably, I think this is 12 grams left.
I could throw that in my blanket.
Yeah, here you go. Congrats. Don't say I never gave you anything. All right, you ready? Oh, isn't that stunning?
Yeah,
it's
turned out
so
really well.
Pretty.
How Is it reversible?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Good. Yeah, there's no right side or wrong side. So you can see that if you look at mine, I love the open lace look to this. I really do. And I think the yarn really accentuates it because you'd have just enough interest where you can see, the variegation in the clusters there. But I think the yarn helps make it look airy and light, and it's super light and airy.
We get asked this sometimes because like 75-25 for a shawl, right? Why use that instead of maybe
like 100%,
100% wool or something else? So for me personally, and it's Aaron and I, we talked about this pretty recently. For us, 75-25, I think actually gives really, really good definition.
Yeah,
in
especially
shawls,
the 4-ply.
In stitches. Yeah, a 4-ply gives really good definition. It's a little bit crisper than, let's say, 100% superwash, or maybe not of a non-superwash, but of 100% superwash. That's a little more drapey and is softer. And for a guy, too, if we have facial hair, a 75-25 is really beneficial to us because it helps prevent some of the pilling that just naturally happens with something around our face and around our necks. So that's why we do tend to knit with a lot of 75-25 when it comes to a shawl.
Yeah.
Or a cowl or anything
point.
around this area.
Yeah. But I wanted to show you the difference. So like this is maybe on a smaller gauge, which I think is really, really beautiful as well.
Yes.
It looks just a little bit more substantial. So I would highly recommend this pattern. It is very, very simple to do as long as you're following the instructions and you're taking your time with the instructions. Once you get to, there are charts in here as well as written instructions for every single row. I found that the charts were so much more helpful once I learned how to read the charts because you can you're really just repeating the same section over and over and over and over and over again until you get to the middle of the shawl, and then you just follow the chart and do something in the middle just to kind of help even everything out, and then you go to the end, and when you get to the end you just repeat what you did at the beginning of the shawl. So for example, the beginning of the row, so for example if you started the row with 2 double crochets, say in the same stitch, you're going to end the row with 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So it's a completely like mirrored image, of itself, along that center point. So once I understood that, it made a lot more sense to be able to read a crochet pattern. I don't know if charts in crochet or if this is unique to charts in crochet or if this is something that like all crochet charts have in common. But it was really, really easy. Once I got there, it did take some time. I'm not going to lie about that. It did take some time, and I did not block this aggressively. I soaked it, I washed it, and then I put it out. I put it on blocking mats, and just all I did was put a pin in each one of those sections at the bottom there.
Very nice.
Yeah. So it's a very, I just think it's nice. It's lovely, and it looks really, really pretty. So
it's going to be a beautiful sample.
Yeah, it'll be a nice sample. My mom also wants this, so when it's not showing itself off in our trunk shows,
Or you could crochet her a different one.
We just talked about my selfishness. I don't know. But I love this. I loved the process, and it feels so like squishy and soft. I think this is going to be a really nice shawl. So if you ever come to one of our trunk shows, you get to try this on and feel it yourself. Okay, that's number 2 done.
All right, keep going.
Don't you have one?
Yeah, I have one.
You want to save yours for last?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So this one is my test knit for Max the Knitter of Les Garçons. The test is completed technically, and I'm just trying to find the picture of it so I can show you.
Excuse
the
me.
test knit is completed. I sent my feedback already. Spoiler alert, I absolutely am in love with this sweater, and it was one of my all-time favorite knits. So this is the old-fashioned. I'm not sure if the picture is going to change on the pattern, but that's what it looks like. It's a textured, open, relaxed cardigan. No buttons. Just meant to be open. I do know that some of our friends, some of the people that I know who've done this, have put buttons in theirs, and that looks really nice as well. So I ended up using Le Garçon British Aran in the colorway Raised Branches. So there's the yarn band. There's the colorway. And it is 70% BFL and 30% Masham. It's a non-superwash.
Excuse me.
Okay.
You would think I didn't sleep.
So all of this information is on my Ravelry page if you're interested. I was sure to take notes because it's a test knit. Interesting how we can get motivated to use Ravelry, right? I just need to learn how to motivate myself. So I put my yardage and everything. I used 665 grams of yarn, which roughly is about 1,400 yards. So I bought myself 7 skeins, 8 skeins.
I thought you did 8.
I think I did 8. I still have a whole skein not even used. So I think this will make some really nice either fingerless mitts. I want to see if I can do fingerless mitts in the same pattern, stitch pattern, or a nice hat that'll go along with this sweater.
I'd go hat.
It's an Aran weight.
For Aran weight, I'd go hat.
Yeah, good point. And then I have this little nugget left. So I used about 1,400 yards, 660 so grams.
I'm just thinking, you could probably get a worsted weight gauge out of that, and you could do another pair of fire pit mitts because you really like those.
I loved those. That's a great idea. All right, friends, I'll put this one back on too, but look, this is the fabric. It's so good. Okay. So, here is the sweater.
It fits very well.
It does. It fits very, very well. I did the 4th size. We talked about my... somebody left a comment on YouTube. I saw it this morning. It said, I added a little Ray juice to this. So I love that. So I did make a little bit of a pattern misread. And you can see that there's a little strip of ribbing.
Yeah.
It does, it fades in, but it kind of separates this section, the shoulder section.
It looks intentional.
It does, on both sides. So I decided to keep it. I love the raglan decrease here, this detail, and then it does go down all the way down. Oh, I have to just tie that little bugger back up again. It goes all the way down the sweater.
Yeah, it's a really nice detail.
Yeah, the collar is folded over. You have short rows in the back here. I love the way that this sits on my neck.
Yeah.
I love the way that this falls on my chest here. So, like I said, I did the 40-inch... the 4th size, which is for a 46-inch chest. The sleeves I did a little bit longer because I do like to have some longer sleeves when I'm wearing a cardigan. I like to pull them down. So I did the sleeves about 21 inches. I love the length of this.
What's the length from your underarm to the hem?
Yeah, so that's what I was just talking about literally right now. And then you interrupted me. So from my underarm to the hem is 20 inches. So it hits me like right at my hip there. Where's my booty? Right in the middle of my bootay. Booty starts up here, I think. Yep. The only thing that I changed in this was the bind off. for the ribbing on the bottom. It calls to bind off in pattern, but I felt like mine was a little bit sloppier. It's nothing to do with the yarn or the pattern or anything like that. I think I'm just not the best at binding off in pattern. So I just did knit 2 together through the back loop, and I think it creates a really nice edge for me. And it kind of seems to like break that up a little bit too.
Yeah.
I did the bind off on the recommended bind off here. I just feel like it looks like not sloppy, but it doesn't seem as clean as that. I think that's really all I have to say. I just love how it fits. It's probably one of my best fitting cardigans, sweaters
I think
that I've ever knit.
That's what a lot... I would say like my bumpy cardigan is one of my best fitting ones. And I know like Michael, his single malt is one of his best fitting sweaters. And that's his template for all of his other sweaters. So if you haven't, and this would be a great opportunity for Let's Hear It for the Boys, tried one of Max's sweater patterns, we would highly recommend doing those. I know... and I don't know if it's a Max or Vincent, but I know like Jimmy from Jimmy Does Knitting just finished their Wind Whistle, which was a full brioche sweater. So yeah, I just think it's a really... Yeah. They make great patterns. So definitely, if you haven't, certainly give it a shot.
One of the other things that I did give the feedback to, because I knit the length a little bit different. My numbers were off when picking up stitches to attach the button band or the band to it. So I picked up like 11 stitches or something like that less, but I picked up how they recommended in the pattern, and then you knit it and then you fold it back in on itself. And I think I did a good job attaching that too. Everything looks, I think, clean and refined. Even the back side of the sweater, where everything's folded in on itself. I can't say enough about this pattern. Hopefully it comes out soon. I'm going to take pictures in this.
He did post, I think, that it was coming out soon. I feel like I saw it on Insta.
Okay. So again, that's the old-fashioned. It was a test knit, so it's not out yet. But as soon as it does come out, we will definitely let you all know. Highly recommend it. The yarn was absolutely incredible to work with. I've knit with the British DK before. This was just as good, if not a little bit nicer. I think with the larger needles, and I used the recommended needles in here, which I think is a US 7 and US 8.
And a difference between the Aran and the DK is the Aran is a 3-ply, so it's a little bit rounder than the DK. The DK is a 2-ply.
So maybe that
makes a bit of a difference.
It was just wonderful. The yarn didn't split at all. It was really, really great to work with, and I absolutely love the color too. I couldn't be happier with this. So when it comes out, highly recommend. It'd be a great project for Let's Hear It for the Boys.
Yeah.
And if you want to knit one for yourself or for somebody in your family or a friend, I don't think I can say anything more about it. It was a great process.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay, now I can take a break.
So I have one FO, and this FO has been living in what has now... This is one of my favorite bags, my Bink Waffle that I got from Skane.
When we go to Skane, I want to get one.
I might get another.
No, I will get one.
I might get a small one. But, so this is... I showed this a couple weeks ago, and it is now my new favorite hat pattern. This is the Salish cap. It is a Blue Sky Fibers pattern designed by Mary Pranika. It is a $3 pattern. So super basic ribbed hat. This is knit on a US 8, which is a 5mm needle.
I can't believe how quickly these knit up for you, Kev.
It is, so I'll actually go... in. So I showed maybe 2 episodes ago, I had knit 3 of these in a 2-week span of time, and we gave all 3 away to our friends who were over for our little cookout-y thingamajigger that happened in the house. But
well, the cooking happened outside.
The cooking happened outside. The eating happened inside. So this is the newest one that I made. This is knit out of Needles at the Ready Fancy Flannel is the first color, fingering weight. This is the Malabrigo Machetta in the colorway Desert. So you hold these 2 yarns double. So you have 2 fingering weight yarns, hold them double, and you get basically a DK weight gauge. On a US 8 and a 2x2 rib, it just makes a really squishy fabric. And what's really nice, it's one size, and this would fit pretty much anybody. I've not blocked it, but like, so you can wear it like a beanie. Oh wow, it just fits so well.
It does. It's such a great hat.
You could then hide your eyes and walk around like that because it's a little see-through, so you do have some vision.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Or
Halloween costume all set.
You could go a little slouch.
Yeah, I like that.
Look too, which I just thought about. I weave in my ends on the outside because of the brim.
Because you can fold it in. Mm-hmm.
So I guess if you plan on wearing it slouch, maybe
but you
weave it in on the inside.
You weave them in going in the
rib.
The ribbon.
Like
so
right
you
here.
really can't see them.
One leg of each of the stitch.
You can,
I weave it in.
You can
it knits up incredibly quick. Like, I can't tell you. So you need, at my gauge, my estimation would be a minimum of 40 grams of each fingering weight yarn. So I've knit 4, so that's 280 grams of scrap yarn that I've used on 4 hats. So it's a great, great way to use scrap yarn. Now I have enough left over to use in blankets.
Yeah.
Multiple blankets, because this is too many for any blanket that I'm knitting. So another great Let's Hear It for the Boys pattern. I think this is the perfect gift hat.
I do too.
And it's up fast. You get to use scraps, and it's a one size fits most. So you really, really can't go wrong. No switching needle sizes, no fancy brim. I do German twisted cast on, and for that I follow Andrea Mowry's tutorial because that was the one that made sense for me. So I'm going to keep going into whips now, and in there I have another one that I just cast on the other day. This is out of...
Oh, I love those colors together.
Yeah, I love these two. I actually have the next colors in here as well. So this, I'm using some scraps of... This is fiber optic yarns. This is graphite. This yarn is 80% wool, 10% nylon, 10% cashmere. This was in my Stephen West MCal from 2 years ago, Shawlography.
Mm-hmm. If you ever get a chance to see fiber optic yarn in person at a show, their booth is really absolutely gorgeous. They pay a lot of attention to like the lighting and how they have everything. They have a ton of samples. Really beautiful.
This is a beautiful base too.
Yeah.
And then this is Lolo Did It.
So good together. This
is the colorway Magic. I'm pretty sure it's Magic. The colorway name. So this would have been from a Dumbledore club Harry Potter club that we did. Does it have the date?
Yeah.
No.
I put that in a shawl. It's my leftover.
Yeah.
No, because it was the mini.
No, this is D. So you did put it in a shawl.
I did. I put it in a shawl. I put it in my my very first
vertices.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where I'm at so far. Again,
it's great together.
Yeah, I thought these two colors complement or blended nicely. I think that's one of the keys, I think, with this pattern is when you are combining yarns is just finding two that would blend nicely, whether you want high contrast, low contrast. I was going to do these two, because they're the same base, and I just didn't like the way they were blending, so I pulled it out. No.
Oh, they look like they.
So this is my next one, are these two blues. Again, Lolo did it in fiber optic yarns. But I just love the pattern. It's right up there with...
I just love you.
Aw, cute. It's right up there with Lyle Cap, which is also by them.
You may have knit more of these now than your Lyle Cap.
I have, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know, actually. Maybe not.
You might. It's close. I agree with you. It's so versatile, like to wear it, all these different ways. I like the slouchy.
I know we all love a Musselburgh, and we all love, well, not we all, but Musselburgh is very popular. So is the sockhead.
The old gum tree.
Like sockhead slouch is super popular too. Mm-hmm. Those just take. I mean, guys, they take a while.
Yeah.
So this is a great way to get your hat fix in using fingering weight and getting off your needles as soon as possible.
It's almost like a reward, right? Like you finish knitting a pair of socks, you've got some left over. You finish knitting a shawl, you've got some left over. Yeah. Hey, now let me use my leftovers right away, and I'll just crank out a quick little hat, and then you have a hat to give away or something like that, and you're enjoying the process.
And I know we've talked about this before. During the holiday times, if they're not canceled by COVID, when people come over, we have been doing a hat bin.
Yeah.
So, or actually kind of like a gift bin, but mainly hats, where people who come over, they're more than welcome to take a hat from that bin on their way out.
I think people are more inclined to take hats than other garments because, people do struggle sometimes, I think, with shawls, like how to wear them, when to wear them.
Yes.
If if you're not used to that,
I think,
and like even like fingerless mitts and things, like I think fingerless mitts and hats will probably be the most worn. And who wants to keep...
Or a cowl. I think we did
maybe
some cowls
we did put some cowls in there.
I just don't know.
But everybody has a different preference too. Like cowls, some people don't like things touching their neck.
Right.
Sometimes it's too long. And then especially for kids, we had gotten some like a kind of a warning about cowls with a kid, like playing out in the playground and stuff like that. Like if the cowl gets stuck on something, like there's no give there, so that could be kind of scary.
So that was my first whip and my only FO. So I have I have two more active whips and then one thing that we both wanted to show and talk about. So
I have 1, 2, 3 plus the...
Okay, so why don't you go?
The tubes.
Okay.
But we can talk about that after.
Yeah. So why don't you go?
Okay. I mean, we all... I think the three that we have are the same exact things.
Oh, kind of, yeah. All right.
Right?
So...
What do you want to do now?
This.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so we are going to now speak of the Jethro cardigan, which is a pattern by Tanis Lavalley.
So this is the pattern here. It is a $9 pattern. And the body of the cardigan is crochet granny squares. And then the button bands and the sleeves are knit, which is really, really exciting. Gives a lot of opportunity to play with colors. We've been talking about this. It is technically DK weight. And we're both doing the same size, right? This third size?
We are doing the third size, and we're using different size crochet hooks. I'm using a 3.75 millimeter, which is what's recommended.
And I'm using a 2.5 millimeter to get gauge, because like I had talked about before, my gauge is very loose with crochet. So in order to tighten it up, I went down quite a few hook sizes there.
So, the intention, not even the intention, it has to be. Our goal is to have this done for flock because we're going to be in the Pacific Northwest. It's going to be summer. We know it's going to be warm.
Yes.
So we are knitting this out of Knit Picks Cot Linen, which is a cotton linen blend. So the hope is that it's going to be a little bit lighter and not not as warm as wearing a wool garment. So this was kind of my main focus, this project. As of the last episode, I had 1 square done. I currently have 40 squares completed.
Damn,
I thought that was
crazy.
I actually thought that was everything, but I realized, like we were talking about the fit, and I realized I need to make 5 more. So I'll
just because you're planning on lengthening the.
I am, and especially based on and that's why I asked, even though you were going to tell us, the length of your cardigan, right? So your length from underarm to hem was 20 inches. Mm-hmm. The size that we're knitting, it says it would be 15 or 15 and a half.
Yeah,
so
somewhere around there.
We would be losing 4.5 to 5 inches of length if we go with the way that the pattern is. So my thought is, by adding an additional square, I'm adding an extra inch, or 5 inches rather, to the length of the cardigan.
Yeah.
So I have my first square. Oh no, where's my first? Hey, where'd the rest of these go?
They're downstairs. Did you not grab them?
No,
They're
I
next
thought
to
I
the
did.
couch.
That's right. So here goes sequence number 1. And here are my colors. This is Clarity in the middle. This is Hydrangea. This is Mustard Seed.
Mustard or mustard?
Mustard Seed. This is Indigo Bunting. And the darkest blue is called Nightfall.
They're so good together.
So this was sequence 1. Then sequence 2, which I really like this one.
Me too.
And
Do you want me to hold them?
This was the 3rd one. And then...
Look at that. That's cool.
Wait, 4th.
They look great together.
And then 5th. No, I already gave you that one. 5th. Nope, I gave you that one too. Which one's missing? This one? No. This one.
Yeah.
So these are the... Here, I'll take 2. So these are the 5 color combos that I currently have.
Wow, they're great.
And the way that I did mine a little bit like Ray, but a little bit different. Mm-hmm. I did the center of 4 squares, and then I repeated that. And then I did it again for the last 4 squares, because I did crochet 8 of each square. And it went by really quick.
Yeah, you were definitely zooming. I couldn't believe how quickly you were getting these done.
I will say I do not enjoy crocheting and watching television.
No,
I can't do it, so that...
I've gotten a little better, but definitely nothing like knitting.
Like, we watch TV and I feel like I don't know what happened, to be honest with you.
We listen to TV when we're crocheting.
I listen to TV, but I really, really enjoyed the process. I'm happy that I finally made some granny squares, and now I'm going to have to make more just for this, but then in general, because I do have a bunch of this yarn left over. These are purchased in 50-gram skeins, and I barely touched
you bought
the 50-gram skein of the second
Yeah.
batch, and I bought 3 additional colors initially that I thought were going to work and did not work with the...
I wonder if they would work with mine. So for me, I still have a little bit of ways to go. I did 35 squares with the 5 colors each. So I want to do a few more. Your squares are smaller than mine, a little bit.
I know.
That's okay. So this is my color palette. So this is square number 1, or I don't know, in no particular order. These are how they're going. 2. This one I think is one of my favorites. 3. Then that's another one of my favorites. Yeah. So this is my palette. So, got to figure out then like how to put them how to put them all together.
Yep.
And like see what they would look like next to each other and stuff. But I think that they look really cool together. I mean, they're all the same 5 colors, so they'll all go.
Right.
But I like the vibe. I think it's really nice, and I love this pop here of this like orangey rust color.
Yeah. It's actually really good with your palette.
Yeah, I think so too. I was really kind of on the fence about it because it was the one like outlier. So my colors, that one is called copper. So copper, this is rocket. This one is Carrera. And then you have wallaby. And then the last color is
This one right there?
Gosling. The one in the center is Gosling. So with their powers combined, that's what they look like. So these are still not washed or blocked yet, and I've just been keeping them in little plastic bags with their friends. And so I will... How many more are we going to do? I think I'm going to do one more of each color.
I need 5 more.
How is that possible? You need 45?
So the pattern does call for 36 squares.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to add, or we decide to add length, we need 5, 6, 7, 8 additional squares. 9 additional squares, and I have 40 squares done.
All right.
So I need 5 more.
So good point. So I will do 2 more of each one. So that'll give me 10 more squares. So that would be a total of 45 squares.
Yeah, just to be safe.
Yep. No, you're right.
Just in case we don't know.
Or if we need an extra one to like make a different design or something like that.
Right. To blend them the way that we would like to see. And then my main color is going to be this. Actually.
Wallaby. Okay.
No, I thought I was right.
What are you doing? You just completely screwed me up.
No, I did not.
You did. Now I'm done.
So this is going to be my main color. Is going to be Wallaby.
The podcast.
And then your main color is black, I think?
Yes. So my main color is this one. It's black. I think it's just called black. And it is. It's just called black.
We are going to use the continuous join that Candice Lavalley recommended. We started watching the video. That's kind of where we're getting a little tripped up on whether or not.
So this is what mine would look like with the black.
Oh, I haven't done one with it.
Which I think is going to look really cool.
Yeah, it's going to pop.
Yeah, this is the incorrect gauge, but I wanted to see what the colors would look like. So that's how it looks altogether, and nice. I think it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah,
it really helps those kind of stand out a little bit. I didn't like how these two were next to each other. Remember?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, this was my initial palette, and I did not like this color here, that color there, and this color there. So 3 of my 5 I didn't like, so that's why I bought some more.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this is going to be really fun to try to like put it all together.
Yeah, it will be great. We have plenty of time to get it put together. I don't feel like the continuous join is going to take too long. No. It seemed like it would go by pretty quickly. Yeah. What's going to take the most amount of time is going to be weaving in all these darn ends.
I know you just said 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know you just said that you have a lot of this yarn left over.
Yeah.
But you could always add like striker sleeves or something like that. I'm probably gonna go sleeveless.
I actually thought about doing short sleeve.
Which is kind of why I was thinking, like, maybe it's not so bad that it's going to be short, or shorter, because then it'll be at, like, a t-shirt length, as opposed to, like, a cardigan length.
I think it will depend on what I do with my sleeves. There was a guy who just crocheted, like, a shirt. I want to look at... Maybe I'll go back and look at his YouTube video, and I don't remember his name. Just to see how the short sleeve, that vibe kind of looked.
Yeah.
But we'll see. It's funny you said that because I've been thinking maybe going short sleeve with it.
Yeah. Because then like or sleeveless completely and have it more like a vest style. Maybe a little bit of a sleeve like to here or something.
That's what it automatically does.
So then maybe I would stop there so you would have like it come here and then
do some ribbing.
You know, wear like a nice t-shirt or a tank top underneath it or something like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I know.
Because it's going to be summer. And like I think the thing is too, like if we wanted to add sleeves, you could always do that later.
Yeah.
It's not a problem.
This is sport weight, right?
We're in charge of our own knitting and crocheting.
We are. And I think that's actually quite important to remember, that we are in charge and you don't have to knit whatever the heck you want.
Or do whatever you want. Do whatever you want.
So that...
I don't give a shit.
That was that one. Let's do the next one that we're both going to just kind of talk about. I didn't make any progress, but we did have a request.
Yeah, I didn't make much progress either. I did like maybe a couple more rows, but we wanted to address this because somebody had asked in the comments. These are, and this is going to be something that we're talking about long term on the podcast, obviously. And it's not here. It's the
Jelly Roll Blanket by K. Jones.
Yeah.
So we just got a request to see the back of it. The join. So if you guys don't know, this is the pattern. You knit strips. I'm knitting mine out of fingering weight yarn, and I'm following the pattern, but I'm following Kayla in the Crazy Stock Leader, her join for it. And then this is my join in the front, so you see the colors on the opposite side.
Yep. This is my join on my front, where you don't have that, where you don't really see the colors in between. You just see the slip stitches. So I'm doing that a little bit differently.
And then we were asked to show the back seam, and then here's the seaming on the back.
Yep.
I actually think it's pretty clean.
It is. I think on both of them.
Yeah, it's pretty clean.
Yeah. Because it lays flat. Like it's gonna be, because this is the side that's gonna be on top of you.
Correct.
Right?
Right. So yeah. Like I said, I have not touched this, but we just wanted to show.
Yeah. So the seam it's a easy seam. So that's hopefully if other people were curious to see the back of them, there you go. You've seen our backsides.
All right. Moving right along.
You think Bob said girl?
No, he said Ray. Call me.
Oh.
What else? Do we just want to do the next one?
I think that's all we have. Oh, you know what? Let's take a break. Let's do this. Because you don't have any.
Yeah, we have one more. We each do.
No, I'm saying you don't have any like yarn that you dyed to show.
Just this.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we can do the other one. Whatever you want.
So, the next one is a new cast on for both of us. We've talked about this in the past. It's going to be our Rhinebeck sweater. Mine is knitting in a Naughty Knitting Sacks bag.
Hey, that's my bag.
I know.
That was my very first project bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny. The pattern that we're going to be talking about is Sean's Gambier. This is going to be our Rhinebeck sweater that we're doing with the majority of the people in our house already. A few of them have already done one. So we're all going to be wearing it together, which I think will be really, really fun. Sean's Gambier is a bulky, super bulky weight pattern. It's an outerwear hinterland
it's like
bottom-up jacket. It really is like a jacket.
So it is 3 colors. We are both knitting ours out of Lamb's Pride.
Yep.
Bulky, which is 85% wool, 15% mohair. My main color is navy. My second color is oatmeal.
Oh.
And my third color is warm caramel.
That's so pretty.
So
my main color, you know what? I'll actually show my swatch. So this was the swatch that I had done a while ago. I love these colors together. I think it's going to look super nice. My main color is sable. My contrast is also oatmeal.
So is Michael's.
Oh, how fun. And this blue, I believe, is called Ice or Glacier Ice. So those are my 3 colors, and this is how they look together. As a reminder, I did this swatch in the round and then did a felted steek, which was a really cool process. But that's not how I'm knitting the sweater.
So this sweater
Did you tell the content of the yarn?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The sweater is knit on US 10s and US 11s.
Yeah.
So that is a 6mm and an 8mm. And I've just kind of started. I did do first, you have to make the pocket inserts. So mine are knit and on a cord waiting to be attached.
And I love that that's a smart idea. I didn't do that. Really smart idea.
Thanks.
Yeah, I love that. I love that they're knit with the contrast color.
Yes.
Or that third contrast color. Because you really don't see it very often. But I think it's really smart how they introduced that color more, outside of that, like, diamond shape.
Right. So I did like 1 day of knitting on mine.
Yeah, it knits
very
up
little.
quick.
This is going to be. I don't want to get knitting fatigue in my hands because it's such a large needle. So I really have been trying to limit it to about 1 inch to 1.5 inches at a time, or a day, really, so I could focus on some other things. And we do have some time until Rhinebeck.
Yeah.
But this is what I have so far.
The colors together are stunning.
I will tell you, when the package arrived, because the navy was the one color we didn't see a sample of,
Right.
out of the colors that we chose. And I was very nervous seeing the navy by itself, but now that I see these colors together, I'm super pleased with the way that this is going to knit up.
Yeah.
It is very quick. It is knit flat, so I thought that this would be a great way to test my flat knitting before starting and purchasing the Marie Wallin
I think that's a great idea.
kit that I showed last week. I did find a little video, though. I thought it was pretty cool. The woman was talking about knitting flat, and when she's on the purl side, she does her purl by using this thumb for your second color. So the color that you would be holding in your left hand if you knit that way. And she just like flicks it over the needle, which she found to be helpful. So I'm trying to do that when I've been purling if needed. But yeah, that's all. That's it. That's all I have.
Yeah, it's great. And honestly, the yarn, it's definitely like a woolly yarn, but it's
super.
But it's pretty soft, and it's a single ply.
It's not actually. I look at it. No. So if you go like, I thought it was too.
Because when I joined it was easy to come apart, but maybe it's just lightly like spun.
See.
Yeah, it definitely comes apart.
Yeah, so I thought it looks like a single ply, but it's definitely a two-ply.
It's very round. There are some thick and thin pieces, or strips to it. But it's still it's been knitting up really, really well, and I think the yarn is very round and plump, so it definitely adds a lot to the pattern.
Out of curiosity, did you block your swatch?
I did.
Can I see that? I haven't actually felt it blocked because I'm going with God on this one, y'all. And I started knitting a swatch, and I was like, I don't have this in me. So, it's very squishy.
It's squishy.
So I have checked my gauge. I'm a little bit tighter on my needles, which should be fine once it's off the needles and washed and blocked.
So, I also wanted to make this like a test for like stretchability, so it's not, but look at all the give you still have there.
Yeah.
Even with, and what I ended up doing was I just carried that yarn around, over.
Oh.
And so it wasn't bad. It doesn't restrict the fabric at all. In fact, it's still very, very stretchy. So I really like that. All that being said about my swatch, I am not knitting my project in the round. And nor did I do another swatch to test how that will go for me. So I can probably measure my gauge now. But I've made some progress on this. I started this 2 days ago.
Well, you've actually... So Ray's been off from work the past 2 days. So Ray's...
Yeah, it's been nice.
Been knitting quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, I finished like all of those projects and like I wanted to block them and everything. So I was very productive with my knitting. Okay. Here's what I have for mine. So, you can see like you do cast on with the contrast color, which is really, really nice. I feel like the color work on this is pretty even. It looks, I mean, it's 1x1 color work, but I think the color combination is really, really nice. And then you can see like what I was talking about with the roundness. Like the stitch definition is really good. And it looks pretty consistent. You know, you could definitely see the mohair like.
Yeah, this. I have a little mohair I think in my throat.
Oh, sorry.
No, why?
So I am now at here's the here's the pockets. So they've already been attached. Clever, you incorporate that into like, you know, when like you're separating, what you do separate. You do a little bit of ribbing for the exterior of the pocket. So once I attach the pocket down here, it'll pull that down more. Gravity wants to pull the ribbing down. So the pocket will be like this, and they'll.
No, go ahead.
When I attach, it doesn't give you instructions on like which side to attach it to, but I wanted the knit fabric to be the, you know.
Yeah,
the interior.
That's what I would think.
I thought it looked nicer.
Kate, did you knit your pockets longer? Do I remember this?
Oh, no.
I feel like she knit her pockets longer.
Okay. I feel like, you know, this definitely...
Because she couldn't fit
her phone in
phone. Here,
well, I'm not going to...
I'm going to put my... It would barely fit the phone.
Okay. So we just don't put your phone in it.
Maybe I'll just do 2 more rows.
Sure. You do you, boo. So this is it's bottom up. This is the bottom of the sweater. I'm now at the point where I'll be adding this section in. Here. I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I am extremely happy with and pleasantly surprised with how not difficult color work flat is. Like purling the color work wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
When I knit color work, I do knit with two hands.
I wish
so.
I
do English style and then continental style, and for color dominance, the yarn that I want to be dominant, I hold in my left hand. So that is the one that I do continental knitting with. So with the purling wise, I'm not very good at continental purls. So I was really uncomfortable with trying to do it flat, but I figured it out. So I'm do 2 hands now with the whatchamacallit, with the purling now too. So
nice.
Yeah. So what I found was not using my thumb, but like I kind of pull down like on my finger and it wraps the yarn. I'm able to pull it through. So like it turns into a flicking motion.
I feel like the reason, or the woman that I watched does not do continental, and that's why she does it. Like I cannot, not that I can't, I haven't tried in quite a while, but I do not do a continental knit when I'm doing color work. I drop and I throw, pick up and then I throw. And actually I don't drop the main color. I just like
pick up the other one.
Yeah. Pick up the other one and throw it. So I have to kind of work around that knitting method for myself.
Yeah. So, I mean, whatever works, right?
Yeah.
Like, and we'll see. So, I think that's really all. It's a lot of knitting.
Yeah.
It's so nice though, isn't it?
You got
nice?
a ton done on that.
I did. Yeah. I mean, it's 2 days though. Like that's not a lot of time,
it's not a lot of time, but because
it's a lot because of the super bulky
right.
Yarn. The pattern's really easy to follow as well. I will say that I noticed something I'll tell you about it in the after we stop this with the color work chart.
Okay.
Because I was wrong last night.
So I think that's all the knitting stuff, right?
Yeah.
Or do you have anything else?
Nope. The only other thing that I did to help get us ready for the trunk show is I wanted to crank a few tubes with Kevin's yarn, just so you can kind of see if you come like what it would look like as a knitted fabric, as socks, what it would look like as socks. Obviously, even if you knit a sample in something, it could be a garment. It would look different if you wanted to use that to knit socks, right? Same thing.
Right, like the shawl. If you used asteroid belt in a sweater, it's going to look completely different than the shawl. It's going to look different in a hat or socks or whatever it is. So it's just to give you an idea of, I would say more the colors in it, not how the colors might necessarily knit up, because it depends on your gauge, your needle size, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So and not only for the trunk show, but also for the website to give you an idea of the permanent colorways of what they would look like.
Yeah.
So
we chose 6 to start with. I'll do some more this weekend as well.
And this is a good thing to know that these 6 colors will definitely be at the trunk show.
These 6 colors will definitely be at the trunk show, and then it's something also to think about as you're shopping or looking online. And we'll start updating the pictures with the tubes as well, so you can see what they look like. All right. So again, our sock machine, isn't this beautiful?
It is.
The cake. Our sock machine is an Erlbacher Speedster. We're using the 64 needle cylinder, and we get about an 8.5 inch gauge.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So without further ado, this is Monsters U. Isn't that pretty? Oh, excuse me. So that's Monsters U. You could really see all the colors in there. I love this section.
Yeah, so this is blues and greens and blues and greens.
Yeah.
And kind of, like a
but there's like I don't know. I see like a little purpley undertones and stuff too, which is really pretty.
I think it's only made with blues and greens.
Wow.
It's just how those two play together and the different blues.
Would you call like a little bit of orange in there too?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay.
No, Vanna.
Next up is Frozen Hot Cocoa. This is a really cool colorway.
So it's actually really hard to come across on camera. So this has brown, white, a really light blue, and there's a very light gray in there.
Frozen Hot Cocoa. And then this one is Bejeweled.
You know what's funny about this one is the only reason it's called Bejeweled is I was thinking about my dad playing Bejeweled as I was like scanning it up. I don't know if it reminds me of the game. Do you remember the game Bejeweled?
I do. I think it definitely has a lot of colors in there. I love the way that this cranked up. This have
is interesting.
Micro stripes as well as these diagonal, like they almost looks 3-dimensional.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Isn't
the way
that cool?
That it cranked.
So no, again, don't buy it for this reason. I don't know if it's going to happen again. Maybe it's just where I started the yarn. I don't know, but it looks really, really neat.
Yeah, that's super interesting.
From farther away, like the farther away you get, the more like 3D that looks. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
All right, so that's Bejeweled. This is all 75-25.
Yeah, it's all on the 75-25 base.
This one is I love. This one is called Fall is my it's Fall Y'all. So it's Fall Y'all. It's so fire.
This is it doesn't come across a lot, but you
can see the speckles
some
in
reds, right?
Yeah.
Oranges, yellows, and greens in here, and then again just a little bit of white. That the red and the white together reminds me of taking a bite out of a Red Delicious apple. Like when I see that,
it's very fall vibes. So that's Fall is my favorite. No,
it's Fall Y'all.
Sorry, it's Fall Y'all. Fall is my favorite is a Woolens and Nosh colorway, which I love. All right, it's Fall Y'all. And then this one is Rhubarb.
Yeah.
I love the colors of Rhubarb. This has been a classic of ours for a while.
Yeah, that's
You've been dyeing this for a while. People seem to
for a
really,
really
like
long
it.
time.
The colors are really spectacular in this, and the your dyeing is so good. You can see some striping happening, but the colors are there's very limited pooling here. The colors are distributed pretty even.
This is dyed with the skein twisted to start.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's your technique.
It's the only... I think it's the only colorway I do that with.
Really?
There's other ones I've done it with in the past, but now that's the only one I do that with.
Yeah. It's really good. I love the colors in this. So we'll be bringing rhubarb with us. And then this is Fire Pit. So we've never seen Fire Pit knit up yet.
Have we not?
No, I don't think so.
I feel like I have it in a shawl.
Do you?
Worked on.
It doesn't. I mean, this absolutely looks like crackling fire to me.
I do love the way that this knits. This is one of my... This might be what... I don't mind dyeing it. I hate washing it.
Really?
Yeah. So if you are a yarn... Like, I'd be really interested if anybody else is a yarn dyer. If you use saffron spice from Dharma, what your experience is with that. Because that is a pain in the butt to dye with. And I use it in... Actually, I use it in fancy flannel too. It's a pain in the butt to dye with. But I do love the way that looks.
Yeah, it really, honestly, it looks so good.
I love the oranges and the grays, the browns in it, and I love what happens. What I love about dyeing is I love seeing what happens when the colors blend together, because you don't know. You know, you have an idea. You know, we all have our basic knowledge of color theory.
Look how great.
So you know how it's going to work out sometimes, but you don't, and it's really fun to see it happen. Yeah, that's a really good colorway.
It's good. You did great.
Thanks.
Yeah, congratulations.
So speaking
now
of...
we just have to separate these, and I want to knit some ribbing on the ends of all of them.
Oh, really?
Just to close it up, because there's like it's going to be like live stitches.
We could just weave it in.
I guess. It looks sloppy. We'll see. If you come out to the trunk show and there's ribbing on it and it looks finished, then I did it. If not, then we didn't.
And then speaking of yarn dyeing, that's pretty, like, all I've been doing is dyeing for the trunk show. Like, I've been doing, that's it, really, over the past 2 weeks. But what's really fun, and Erin and I, we don't do this often enough, but every now and again we have a dye day together. So we just jump on, like,
it was cute when I
FaceTime
came
or
home,
Zoom.
You guys were like chit-chatting while you were dyeing.
Yeah, we just jump on Zoom or FaceTime, throw in our headphones, chat while we're both dyeing, and, you know, just talk about dyeing and life and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, him and I were doing that on, I think, Friday last week. You were at work. Or was it this week?
I think it was Wednesday.
It was Wednesday.
Wasn't it?
I think so.
Because
No. I don't know. Either way, so I do follow an Instagram and a TikTok account of somebody who is a artist, and they like to mix paints together and show you what happens when you mix those colors. So I was watching one of their videos, and they had mixed a magenta and a green together, and it came out with this gorgeous blue. Now, mind you, I know that dye powder is very different than paint, but I was like, oh, what would happen if I mixed magenta and a dark green together? Mm-hmm. And I was happy with the result. It wasn't blue, but it came out with this colorway.
It's so good.
Which I've decided this morning is going to be named, Is That an Eggplant? And I think it's beautiful. I think it's a beautiful purple.
Yes.
Is it Knitting Posse purple?
Did you just make a Knitting Posse?
I mean, it's not.
It's darker.
It's darker, but... Yeah, so... This, if I have time, I may try to dye this up and bring it to pick up every stitch before putting it on the website.
Oh. So we'll be bringing, what types of yarns are you bringing?
So I'll be bringing technically two bases on two different weights. So 75-25 on fingering and DK, and 100% superwash 4-ply on fingering and DK. So, and typically the way that I dye, and again, this is kind of project based, is how I keep this in mind, is that 75-25, I always do speckled or variegated, and on the 100% superwash, I always do tonals.
That's not to say that you won't.
No, if people ask me to,
Right.
I've certainly switched it up. But when I'm just dyeing for the website, that's how I dye, unless somebody gets a special request or
Yep.
puts in a special request.
So if you're coming to the trunk show, that's what you can expect. And the 75-25 will be speckled and variegated yarns, and the 100% superwash will be mostly tonals and solids.
And it's been really interesting. This has been teaching me a lot about my dyeing capabilities.
Yeah.
And I've just been kind of trying some new things out. I'm trying something new with tonals because I typically don't struggle with my tonals on a superwash yarn. There are some colors that act a little bit differently, so I have been adding a leveling agent to it. So we'll see how that goes. It's actually going pretty well so far. I think I've tried it on 2 colorways.
That's great.
So I like that, and I'm increasing the amount of time it takes for the dye. I'm not using as high of a heat to try to get more even coverage. So
this is pretty even.
yeah, it's not bad. There's some
tonality.
lighter spots, but this was just a first run. That was a test. That wasn't with anything extra in it.
Oh, I love it.
It was just that was a rough one. Like, oh, let's just see what happens.
that an eggplant?
I soaked the yarn for like 10 minutes. I normally soak it at least for 2 hours, if not overnight. So that is that. And now we have Owl Post and Breaking the Bank. Did we break the bank at all?
We did not break the bank except for our giant griddle that's outside.
That's not knitting
shattered
related.
the bank.
Not knitting related.
knitting
Round of
related.
applause
Round of
for
applause.
us for not breaking the bank. All right, so we have some Owl Post. First up, this is from Jillian. And
This was so nice.
is a retired teacher and a knitter. And
Not a retired knitter, but she's a retired teacher. And she's a knitter.
And she is a knitter, not retired. So she knows that we love having multiple projects. You are right. 20 is not enough. Can you imagine? Do I have 20 maybe?
I'm sure you have more. We have 2 bins full, and
Don't just say just 2 of me.
I have a bin. Sure, I admit that. But they're not works in progress yet. The yarn is separated.
Oh.
I just have hey, you haven't started me yet.
All right. So she decided to send us 2 project bags. She knows that we are fans of Harry Potter and Star Wars. And here is...
And they have a window so that because we have so many projects, he has so many projects, you could just look in the little window and know exactly what's in the bag. Isn't that cute? Look at the little window.
I think the newspaper fabric is always really great, but this exterior fabric is fantastic.
So this is stunning. Absolutely. They both are. They're both beautiful. Absolutely
And
beautiful. There's a little zipper on the back.
Drawstring handle.
Yep, zipper pocket in the back.
Zipper pocket.
Actually goes down pretty far. There's pockets on the inside. Some pocketses. I love this fabric. Look how fun. So this is really exciting. So thank you so much.
That's so clever.
It's a box bottom. And I love that it'll sit next to me on the couch. That's been my bag of choice. Those that can
stand on their own. Yeah, you've really enjoyed those. I have different what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know if I have a bag preference. Maybe requirements. It depends on the project. Like for a sock or a hat, I like a squishy bag. One that could easily fit into another bag. For a larger project, I like something that can stand up on its own.
I will tell you, and I didn't actually talk about the bag that this was in, but these have been my absolute favorite bags since we've gotten them. I only have 2, so I want to get more. I really want to have a project in this bag.
Do I only have 1?
This is by Threads. What's it called? Threads Bag Company. We'll have it linked down below. It's a humongous bucket bag with pockets on the inside as well as outside. I don't know the name of this bag, if there is like a name for it, but it's got the faux leather handles. I think they're faux leather. They might be. I don't know. I think they're faux leather. But they're just honestly the best bags. They stay open. They don't like if the yarn is pulling on anything or you overload the bag, it doesn't collapse on itself. We have this is the solid one. There's what do I have the other I have our samples in Threads Bag Company.
What's the website though?
The website is threadsbagcompany.com. So anyway, we love our bags. I love a bag like this. This was right up my alley as well. I love the little handle here. And drawstring has been the way to go. I'm kind of avoiding like the zippers lately. But hey, a bucket bag, give me a bucket bag. I'm into it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. My Tanny Casey one. So that's.
Oh, is the website not up? That's fun. Oh, it looks like the website's down right now. We'll still have a link down below.
Yes.
In case you want to take a peek.
Yeah, I love that. I love the Tanny Casey one. I love my.
I love the Paradise Island bags, which are really great. Probably that blue one that I have is really nice.
So I love different styles of bags. I love your like fandoms and your and your seasonal ones.
Yeah.
And I use those, like the seasonal ones I use during the season. Like we always pull out our. Well, now we have fat squirrel bags.
Yeah,
those are good too. We also are bearded pearl bags, like those, and whimsy stitches. Like those come out during that time of year, like fall and Christmas.
Speaking of bags and really fun things, Ginger snapped that on July 13th. You may have seen his little spoiler post hinting at perhaps a little collaboration type of situation. Not really collaboration, but long story short, it is s'mores season over at Ginger Snap That Laboratories, and every year for the past 2 years, I think it was, this might be the third year, they come out with a really nice sock set and along with a bag that is s'mores themed. If you don't remember,
and the needle stoppers.
And the cute needle stoppers, which I use all the time.
The fire ones, right?
Yeah.
Or campfire looking one.
Mm-hmm. So basically it is a bag, sock set, needle stoppers, any other like little fun goodies that are all related to camping and s'mores. They do such a fantastic job. Colin does a great job dyeing everything up. The fabric choices, they just make you smile. So we saw a little spoiler picture that we were not going to share with you, but mark your calendars. So July 13th, follow Ginger Snap That on Instagram. Go to their website. We'll have them linked down below. Subscribe to their newsletter. So when they launch on July 13th, if you want to snag one, snag one. They go very, very fast.
And it's 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time?
12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And they're sending one to us to give away to all of you. So when we get that, we'll talk about it some more, but we're probably not going to podcast again
until the Sunday after the Trump show.
So it'll already have happened. So we wanted to share that with you all now. So please check them out. And you all gave such great feedback last year and the year before when we showed and gave away. I think we gave away a set last year too.
Last year we did. I don't know about the year before. The year before you bought. I thought, didn't you buy it and you knit the socks? I did buy it.
Oh, I was so excited.
I don't remember if you bought it or if she
I did knit the socks, and the socks are so good. I still wear them to this day. Anyway, that's so with the bag talk and things like that. So Kevin and I were kind of talking. I'm just throwing this out there. See if we get any feedback. We were kind of talking and thinking about maybe expanding a little bit of our channel and have
Oh,
like, little,
I'm like, where are we going?
to have like little tidbits, needles at the ready tidbits or something like that, where we would just sit down and talk about a specific thing, like, and it would be probably a quick, 20 minute video,
20 max, probably more 15, where it would be like, here's our favorite bags.
Here are our favorite bags, and right, and show them, and like whatever,
and go into a little more detail and be a little more descriptive of it, like our favorite bags, our needles, maybe like our favorite hat patterns, things of that nature that
are just very specific, one topic, and be kind of quick, because we do get a lot of feedback from you all, and we haven't done like a live Q&A kind of session, but a lot of the questions that we got is like, oh, what are some of your favorite knitting tools? What are some of your favorite favorite bags? And talk about this, and I'd love to hear you guys talk about your favorite summertime whatever.
So if that's something you'd like us to do, let us know. It's something we would probably release. It depends on how many we could come up with, but we're thinking of having something released on maybe in between podcasts. So something outside of a knitting podcast every 2 weeks.
Yeah, and what we were thinking too, like for practicality purposes for us, is like we would record a few of them and release them, like Kevin said, in between the podcast. So like we'd still have our regular podcast, but then like a little bonus.
Yeah. So that is all no, that's not all the Happy Mail. You have...
No. Guess what?
All right. Yes. So we're going to do this one first, and this one and just give a disclaimer, because that's for this month. This was March's, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, why don't you kick us off then, because you obviously have more information than I do.
No, I just read what came with it.
Okay.
All right.
I thought I did too. I did.
Includes July and March.
Oh, because July just started.
Yeah, we're there
I gotcha.
now.
I gotcha. Picking up what you're putting down.
So this was super sweet. So in the previous episode, we had talked about another Happy Mail, or right? Owl Post that came into us. That was the first time we got to see yarn from Arkansas Yarn Co. So Lori from Arkansas Yarn Co. reached out to us and wanted to send us a little treat and sent us 2 of her clubs. So she has a monthly club.
Lori, Jessa, Anna, and Lindsay.
Hi,
everyone.
We've seen their clubs. I want to say I typically see them on We Share Needles with Maggie.
Jeez.
Maddie and Kristen. So, anyways.
Our Dalmatian's name was Maggie.
I do know that. So, they were kind enough to send us a club from March so that we can kind of get the experience. So, first off, it comes nicely packaged.
Yeah.
The colorway is called I Beg Your Garden.
I love that so much.
This is on their Yummy Plush, which is an 8515 superwash merino nylon. It's 437 yards. So it's this beautiful green, and you have the stitch markers that come with. So one is a leaf, and the other one is an Arkansas stitch marker.
You have that upside down. But it's okay. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you're not detail-oriented like me.
It says your resume. Oh!
Stop, Kevin. I beg your garden.
And it came with some really cute needle stoppers that are in the shape of a leaf.
Very cute, by the way. These are probably... I would love to use these. So I'm going to use these.
And then some tea.
Tea? What's the tea?
Oh, it came with a mini. It comes with this. So everything that came in here, it says boots. Oh, a sock pattern. So this is Boots with the Fern by Lindsay Miller.
Boots with the Fern.
So it comes with the mini skein, the stoppers.
Do you hear Skylar going a little wild?
Wildflower seed paper. So you just plant this.
What? No.
Paper and flowers will grow.
How fun. Let's do that today.
Plum Deluxe Garden Grove loose leaf tee, and then the 2 stitch markers. So in addition to that, so that we got the full experience, they also sent us this month's club.
Yes. we would love to show it. So you may have not received yours if you are part of this this club. Do you think maybe they share what the club looks like? Is it a mystery club, you think? Or do you think that people know what it's going to be?
I think it's a mystery club.
Okay.
Until it arrives.
Great. So I am going to show... Oh, I get it. I get it. Yeah. That's it right there.
But that was just her binding off of V back. That's right. So if you have not received yours yet and you're not sure what it's going to look like, just look away.
Yeah, because I'm going to show it. So here we go. So this is the July 2024 colorway. It is called It's Gonna Be a Good Day. I don't know why I yelled. It's also on the Yummy plush. Look how beautiful. That pink. Is this pink? Please tell me this is pink. Purple. Purple. Beautiful purple. Kevin, what color is this?
It's whatever you want to...
No, tell me, what do you think it is?
It's more... I want to say...
Because in some lights it looks pink and others it looks purple. To me.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I would think... So I want to say like it's a deeper pink, but it also could be a really...
Listen.
Like from here, this is pink.
If anybody that works at that company for colorblind glasses and you want to send me one to try, I'd be happy to try it out and see if it works for me. So anyway...
I'm going pink on that.
Okay, so that was my first thought, was pink. But then there's like...
It could lean purple. I think it would depend on what you have it paired with.
Yeah. This base is super plush.
It really is.
It really is beautiful. 8515, 437 yards, just like Kevin said. In this pack up, in addition to the yarn, you get... So I'm not going to open this just yet, but you get those stitch markers. It's going to be a good day. That matches the yarn. You get a 60-inch like barber cord, basically, which is great. You get the clear spring like needle stoppers that you can like open and then undo them there. There's tea, herbal loose leaf tea. There's a flower leverback progress keeper. And then there's the Arkansas Yarn Co. stitch marker as well. Do you know that I didn't know that was Arkansas? I was like, oh, what is that shape? It's the state of Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Arkansas Yarn Co. But I love this rainbow stitch marker.
Yeah, that one's
flower.
Yeah, that one's pretty.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous. So how fun was this? And honestly,
and out of curiosity,
your yarn is beautiful.
I know. We said it.
The base is gorgeous.
It is. It's so funny too because this is one. I don't know if it's a 2 or 3 ply, but another dyer who has this base, and I can't find a base that's 8525.
8515.
I mean 8515. Because it is one of my favorites. Savvy Skeins has one that's like this too, and it's such a freaking good base.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So thank you.
Do you think people can? I don't have my phone near me, but do you think people can still get in on this club, or do they? Is it all sold out or like limited?
That I don't know.
Here, I can check my iPad. We'll have Arkansas Yarn Co. link down below anyway.
Faux show. All right, and then lastly, if you are in the state, they do have their...
Is that what it's called? Sock Yarn Society?
I think so, yeah.
Come join us. Subscribe.
So they do have... Arkansas Y'all has a yarn crawl coming up. So there's a bunch of stores. If you're in the area, go check all these people out. Rich Mountain Fiber Co., which is super sweet. We've chatted a couple times about some yarn dyeing.
Okay, so with the Sock Yarn Society, you go to their website, you click on Sock Yarn Society, it'll bring you right to the page. You can subscribe there. You can gift a subscription, jump in at any time, it sounds like. You pick your base, you choose 1 or 2 skeins, and that's it. They take care of the rest.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know how much it is.
All the knitting content.
Oh, so you can choose It's $43 for the single skein and $79 for the 2 skeins with all the goodies and everything like that. I think that's a really good price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Okay. So there you go. You can purchase that if that was something that was interesting to you.
Excuse me.
I can't say enough how nice that base was.
I know, it really is. So that's all the knitting stuff. The last thing we'll cover, which we typically do, is what we've been reading and watching. And that's super easy because the only thing we've been watching is Supernatural. We finished season 8 and we have 1 episode left of season 9, which we'll be finishing today. And that is what we've watched. I was thinking, do you have a favorite Winchester?
Sam. You?
Dean.
I like Sam. I feel like I'm more Sam.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm damaged.
No, I think...
No, I have a heart. I feel like Sam... I know Dean has a heart for sure. He cares a lot. He's cried a few times on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Which probably gets you.
Probably.
Yeah. But no, I think I'm more... I feel like I'm more Sam. He has... Yeah.
I actually think I'm a bit of both. But...
I think you're more Castiel.
That's fine. I'm okay being Castiel.
Yeah. No, he's nice.
Especially Castiel now because he has all that like pop culture
I
knowledge.
know. I do like that he's getting everything.
So definitely more Castiel now. Yeah. So so enjoying Supernatural. I don't know why we stopped. Probably to catch up on other things, which we're going to do again. But we have a better...
We have to go back.
We have a better plan in place for
Isn't it stupid? Not stupid, but isn't it crazy that we have to have a system?
I think
for our TV watching?
No. I don't even think it's just for TV watching. I think it's for anything. Like, I have a system or a plan when I decide to go grocery shopping.
I know you
do. Or I have to run
Which is why you don't like me going with you.
No, you like to go where there's nothing that we need. In the grocery store. I'm saying, like, if I'm going out and running errands... The aisles. No, you don't. No, that's when you buy food that you don't really need in your life. True. And then reading, I've been reading 1 book, and it has not been finished. I'm reading Jake's Magical Market Book 2, which is called A Trek Through Time. And this one is a little bit of a slog. Compared to the first book in the series. It's actually funny because I've never looked at the cover, and this scene I just read within the past 2 nights. And this isn't how I would imagine any of them looking.
I was going to say, do you imagine that guy with the orange hair like that?
No. So this is a trilogy. The first book was fantastic. I would say, there were some slow parts. This one has a lot of slow parts, and it's almost like he's rediscovering himself again. He has different powers than the first book.
Okay.
So, like, trying to figure out how those work. So it's the same. It's kind of the same thing, but not really as the first book, if that makes sense. In this trilogy, there are many gods, and the gods like to have fun, and they transition worlds to basically like a video game world. Jake was on Earth, and it changed. You find out, it's a card system, kind of like Magic the Gathering type of thing, or like I'm not going to say Dungeons & Dragons because I have no idea, actually. I'm going to lean towards Magic the Gathering. And it's him navigating this new life. And he's no longer on Earth in book 2. He is trekking through time. And
I wonder if that's where they got the title from.
Probably. And he's actually been in the same time for quite a bit, and he's navigating that. I'm about 70% through the book. I have just about 3 hours left, and I'm kind of just waiting. I'm waiting for him to go back to his market, although I didn't really think about this. He is kind of working in a market, just a different market than his market back on Earth.
Oh.
So I guess that's kind of why they threw the market in there. But some interesting things have happened in this book, and you've learned a little. it's covered a lot of the topics in the first book that just weren't really covered, and understanding how this world works and how these cards maybe came to be. And that's what I'm interested in, because going back or forward in time, we know how, according to all the movies, it messes with time, except in MCU, where we know that this is now the new present. Like, so I don't know. I want to see if there's any actual impact. But that's the only thing I've read or been reading.
All right. I'm still reading the same books. Listening to He Who Fights with Monsters, book 4. Our main character, Jason Asano, who was kind of sucked up through a portal, taken out of Earth, and put onto this magical place, playing out like a video game. Develops his powers, does his thing, becomes pretty strong, ends up dying in... Oh, I just gave a spoiler. Well...
That's why I'm so vague with how I talk about books, because I don't want to give away spoilers, and...
So...
I get nervous.
I said frying, because he cooks a lot. So he was frying, things were happening, blah, 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 blah. In this book, we end up back on Earth, which is really interesting. He still retains his powers, and then realizes that there's... Even though Earth is pretty, magically... drained, I guess, or there's no inherent magic on Earth, he still retains his powers and realizes that there are other groups out there that are still can have magic and that still find ways to kind of do this stuff and be part of this magical world. There are vampires, which is really interesting. So currently I'm at a point where he is kind of introducing himself to his family, because since he got plucked up from Earth, everybody assumed that he just disappeared or died or whatever. So it's been really interesting kind of seeing some of that dynamic there. No spoilers. That's that. It's been really fun to listen to. And then I'm reading... I cannot remember the name of it, but it's the 6th book in the Throne of Glass series.
It's not on...
It is, but it's not open right now, and I don't feel like opening it. Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas, part of the Throne of Glass series. Interestingly, and I've said this before, some people have recommend that you read book 5 and 6 in tandem. And actually, Lisa over at 72 Stitches, hi Lisa if you're watching, she said that there is a site that I get, and it makes sense, to tell you, if you wanted to read them in tandem, how many chapters of each book that you read at a time. Read chapter 3 through 6 on this one, then 4 through 8 on this one, and go back and forth, because they take place at the same timeline, but in different parts of the world and following different characters. So it's a little late for me because I've read book 5, which kind of stinks because I wanted to go right into find out what happened. So now I'm just kind of, we're back following some other characters, which are definitely growing on me. I find the story interesting, but I'm really committed still to our main character. Excuse me. I'm going to consider her our main character because I followed her through 5 books, right? And now all of a sudden, the 6th book, they want me to focus on these other people when I'm still invested in, in that main character. So I want to find out what happens. I still am interested in this story, but I kind of wish that I was doing them in tandem. Lisa did make a good point though, and said that she would have to do it during the daytime when you can focus. My reading is only happens at nighttime, and sometimes I read 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I'm zonked out. So I don't have that time to commit to
Would it make sense for you to put the other book on pause and read and listen to this at the same time just to get through it quicker?
I'm enjoying the book now. I've only got 6 hours left.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm enjoying it. It's not that I'm not enjoying it. I definitely am. But I just prefer... It's almost like a different book.
Yeah.
You know? Even though these characters were mentioned before, you know, I don't have the same amount of investment that I do in the, like, following our main character.
And
our
then
main protagonist.
Last book thing I'm going to mention is that if you guys, like us, are a fan of the All Souls trilogy...
Oh, I thought you were asking, like, if you like us.
No.
I hope you like us. If you're here, I hope you like us.
Like us of the All Souls trilogy.
By Deborah
which is
Harkness.
Not really a trilogy now, but it kind of is.
The World of All Souls.
The World of All Souls. Book 5 comes out on July 16th. It is called The Blackbird Oracle.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night.
So I am going to have to make a decision.
I know. Same.
If I could finish this book and the third book, then I'll jump right into that.
When is it coming out? November?
No. July 16th. Like 10 days.
You're going to finish 2 books?
Maybe.
Are you going to read any of the previous ones?
If I did, it would be Times Convert.
I've only read that a couple of times.
Me too, and I haven't read it in a while, but I wouldn't be able to read it before.
It's not my favorite.
I don't Actually, I think I liked it because I like Freya. Freya's in there, and I wish
I like Freya.
We had more Freya in our lives. And I love Matthew and Diana, and I love learning about the kids.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, I believe that is everything. So again, 2 weeks, we will be at Pick Up Every Stitch, 12 to 4.
Hopefully
Mount
you
Kisco,
come
New
and
York.
join us.
Come say hi.
Yeah.
So we will be podcasting the following day. So that's Sunday the 21st.
So don't look for us on Saturday.
And in the meantime, we hope that you guys have a great 2 weeks, and we will see you in a fortnight. Bye.
Bye.